In the heart of a small village called Maban, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, two childhood friends, Nyasha and Zuri, lived like sisters. They were born in the same year, their homes only a stone's throw away from one another. Both of them were daughters of the village's finest drummers, and they spent their days playing near the drum circles and listening to the rhythm of life that pulsed through the village. Nyasha was known for her gentle spirit and ability to play the drum like no one else. It was said that when her hands touched the skin of the drum, the earth itself trembled. She would often be invited to drum at important ceremonies, weddings, harvest festivals, and ceremonies to honor the spirits of their ancestors. The people of the village said that Nyasha's drumming could summon rain during the dry season or bring harmony when the village was torn by quarrels. Zuri, on the other hand, was more quiet, more reserved. While she had the same passion for drumming as Nyasha, she was never able to match her friend's skill. Zuri's hands would often stutter on the drum skins, and her rhythms never flowed with the same power. But what Zuri lacked in rhythm, she made up for with determination. She practiced in secret, pouring her soul into the drum, hoping that one day her time would come. It was the dry season when the incident that would change everything happened. The village elders had long held a belief that only the greatest drummer could bring the rains during the dry season. This was no ordinary drumming contest. It was a ceremony that involved not just skill, but heart. The winner would be chosen to drum during the sacred rain dance, a dance that the village believed could call the spirits of the skies to bring much-needed rain. The competition was fierce, as drumming was not just an art, but a sacred duty in Maban. To be chosen was an honor, and Nyasha had already won it several times before. But this year, something was different. The elders announced that this year, the contest would be open to anyone, man, woman, or child. And the prize? A special honor. The winner would be given the ancient Njiwa Drum, a sacred drum said to have been passed down by the gods themselves. It was rumored that whoever played it could communicate directly with the spirits of the ancestors. Zuri knew this was her chance. She had spent many sleepless nights practicing, not telling anyone of her growing skills. In her heart, she felt she had a deep connection to the drums, almost as though the spirits of the village were whispering in her ears. But Nyasha had always been the village's chosen one. She had the talent, the skill, and the recognition. She was sure that she would win again, as she always had. The day of the contest came, and the village square was buzzing with excitement. People from nearby villages had traveled to witness the competition. The air was thick with the smell of roasting meat and freshly baked bread. The drums were set out in a circle in the middle of the village, each one waiting to be played by the village's finest. Nyasha stood proudly at the center, her drum, the Njiwa Drum, in front of her. The elder men, who had taught her the sacred rhythms as a child, looked on with approval. Zuri, standing a little off to the side, clutched her drum, the Njiwa Drum, nervously. Her hands trembled, but her heart beat with purpose. She knew this was her moment. The contest began with the sounds of drums filling the air, each beat pulsing with power and history. First, the village's older drummers took their turn, impressing the crowd with their skill. Then it was Nyasha's turn. Her hands moved gracefully over the drum, and the beat was as smooth as a river flowing through the village. The crowd was captivated. Nyasha's rhythm was perfect. The elders nodded in approval. Next, it was Zuri's turn. Her heart raced as she sat down. The crowd grew quiet, waiting to see if she could match the mastery of her friend. Zuri closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Her hands touched the Njiwa Drum, and at first the sound was shaky. But then something remarkable happened. The beat grew stronger, steadier, as if the drum itself was guiding her. The rhythms she had practiced in secret began to flow effortlessly, and for a moment it felt as if Zuri was not playing the drum at all, but rather the drum was playing her. The crowd held its breath as the beats of her drum echoed like a heartbeat, raw and primal. But as Zuri's performance came to an end, Nyasha, standing on the edge of the circle, frowned. She could not deny the beauty of Zuri's rhythm, but there was something about it that felt foreign, almost too perfect. It was as if Zuri had discovered something that Nyasha herself could not tap into. A deep sense of jealousy stirred in Nyasha's chest. The elders retired to discuss the contest, and the village waited with bated breath. Nyasha's heart raced. She felt something shift within her, something dark and unfamiliar. The drums were meant to bring unity, but Zuri's skill had unsettled her. Nyasha had always been the center of attention, the one with the power to summon the rains, the one who was revered by all. Could Zuri now take that from her? As the sun began to set, the elders returned. The air was thick with tension. Nyasha, the eldest elder spoke, his voice deep and steady. You have drummed with honor and skill, as you always do. Your rhythms have brought harmony to this village many times, but today we hear the rhythm of the future in Zuri's hands. She has shown us something new, something unexpected. Nyasha's heart sank, and she felt a heavy weight settle in her chest. She had been defeated. But it was not just her defeat, it was her pride that was wounded. Zuri was chosen to drum for the rain dance. The villagers cheered, but Nyasha could only stand there, a storm brewing inside her. Zuri had won the sacred Njiwa Drum. It was a moment that should have been celebrated, but Nyasha felt an overwhelming sense of betrayal. Later that night, as the village slept, Nyasha went to the drum circle. She approached the Njiwa Drum, her fingers itching to touch it. She had never been so consumed by envy before, but it was all she could feel in that moment. With a quick glance around, Nyasha struck the drum once, then twice, using her powerful rhythm to create a beat unlike any she had ever played. The drum reverberated under her hands, but the sound, it was wrong. The once harmonious beats now sounded harsh, discordant. The sacred Njiwa Drum was silent. The next morning, Zuri arrived to play the Njiwa Drum for the rain dance, but when she struck the drum, nothing happened. The spirit of the ancestors was absent. The villagers grew concerned, whispering that the gods had abandoned them. Zuri was devastated. Her dreams had been crushed. Nyasha, standing at the edge of the circle, realized the weight of what she had done. She had been so blinded by jealousy, so desperate to protect her pride, that she had caused harm to the very people she had sworn to protect. The village, once filled with the music of the drums, was now silent. Zuri, though heartbroken, did not give up. She went to the elders seeking guidance. The eldest elder, who had known both girls since childhood, told her, "Zuri, the Njiwa Drum is not just an instrument. It is a symbol of balance. The ancestors give us the ability to create, but also the wisdom to repair. You must not let the silence remain. You must restore the balance." Zuri returned to the drum circle, where she sat in solitude holding the Njiwa Drum in her lap. Her heart felt heavy, but she knew what she had to do. She closed her eyes and began to drum, not with force or anger, but with humility. Slowly, she felt the connection between herself, the drum, and the spirits. She drummed with love and respect for the ancestors and the village. And as the sound of her rhythm filled the air, the Njiwa Drum came alive once again. The rain began to fall. From that day forward, Nyasha and Zuri's friendship was forever changed. Nyasha learned the power of humility, and Zuri the value of patience and grace. Together they drummed as one, not just as two women, but as two souls intertwined in the rhythms of life. The villagers understood, too. They had seen the dangers of jealousy and pride and the importance of balance, both in music and in life. And so the rains came. But more importantly, the village learned the lesson that the true rhythm of life comes not from the beat of the drum, but from the heart that plays it.